Devastate, Devastator.
Welcome back to Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about the Zeta Toys Bruticus, and it's Armageddon. And I'm going to talk to you about a few things about it. First off, size, value, price goes into that, articulation, and do we need another Bruticus after this? Is this the ultimate one? Will we get another one? Let's get right into it. First thing I want to do is get into the size comparison of this guy. And he's a big boy. And getting that out of the way, the first thing I want to compare it to is what I consider, well, probably my viewpoint of its biggest competitor. I know the Unique Toys made one, but I still think Unique Toys is just too small. You're looking at a scale that's a little bit different. Maybe Unique Toys is about the same size as KO Oversized Jin Bao Orbitron, but there he is. I'll edit that out. Maybe I should have left that in or leave that in. Whatever. Anyway, yes, the size, it's magnificent. It's so much better. And the reason that I like this size and this scale is because it really scales well with the Masterpiece line. So don't get me wrong, the Jin Bao is a big boy now. And I felt he was going to scale well enough. And I was perfectly happy having Jin Bao as my my Bruticus forever, but then the Zeta is just so good, and my anticipation for Superion's still waiting for my Super Bowl, because when that comes in, I'll be doing that one. But this guy here, I just had to pick him up, and I got a good deal on him, so we're going to get into price and value after this size comparisons here. But let's show you a couple more combiners. So I want to say that these two scale very well together. I like the fact that they're right in line with so the Toy World Devastator and the Zeta group, more or less, they're the same in a way. And I just see that I actually like the aesthetic of Bruticus better. It's closer to G1 in my opinion. Than even the Constructor, and I'm sure Constructor's good, Constructor's great, but I think somebody eventually is going to come along and beat him. I never ever want to take him apart. Somebody's going to probably make one that you enjoy taking apart, but yeah, I don't like taking them apart. But anyway, I like the way he looks with all the G1 upgrades on them, but they look good together. I think the Zeta just keeps doing this. They're all going to look good together. I'm hearing Fans Toys is going to be a little taller, so to mix and match, and then X-Transbots is going to be, he's going to be coming up, well, X-Transbots is going to be just a little bit taller head-wise than this guy, so he's not really going to scale as well. We're looking at maybe an inch taller for X-Transbots Minosaur. So if Zeta just could keep making them, we could keep them all the same scale. But all the different companies with all the slight differences in sizes might get to be really annoying. But of course, on my shelf, I can cheat. Next size comparison I want to get into real quick. Of course, this is the Combiner Wars Superion. So this is really what a Combiner Wars comes up to. And just so you're not thinking that I'm just making it look bad, there is a size comparison. And he looks like just a little friend of his that he needs to take care of and wipe out and demolish. And because I promised my son, I threw his abomination of, he's not Abominus, it's an abomination of Bruticus in there. This is just a mashup. But anyway, I have been getting rid of my Chug stuff. I haven't talked about it so much, but I'm getting rid of my Chug stuff. And as I get a Masterpiece representation, I kind of get rid of my Chug version. And that's kind of what I've been doing lately, simply to A, be able to have all these Masterpiece, but B, space. I mean, I gotta make those decisions, and that's what I made getting these guys. Okay, which one of these two do you like better, Jason?
I like this one because he's cleaner and smoother, but this one looks more real world accurate because he has wheels on it, and this one's cleaner. But gotcha. But yeah.
Okay, now didn't you say something about like the lines on this one make it look cool, but you still like the way the other one looks?
Yeah, because this makes it look like it looks cooler, but it's not cooler at the same time.
Okay.
There's like stuff right there.
What do you care about the fact that they're in a G1 cartoon? Like which one looks better representation of the G1 cartoon as a 10-year-old in 2019?
Nope.
Okay. And do you care about like articulation and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And which one do you think is better articulated?
This one's probably better articulated. This one.
Okay. So, what do you think about features like this, electronics in the head?
I think that they should do that more. I like it.
Cool, thanks. Now that's the opinion of an actual kid, not just a collector. So now with all that, I'm going to get into a few things about this figure. I'm going to be hitting a lot of points. There's pluses and minuses that are going to be going along the way here. So if you're thinking about dropping $500 on this thing, then which is probably like the cheapest I see online, new, is $500, then you're going to be needing to know a lot of stuff about it. So the electronics in the head, I got them to work using these batteries, the LR66 377 batteries. They're not the right ones, and I'm paying the price for that. The price that I'm paying for that is that they're too small. They're underrated, although they worked fine for about 20 button pushes, so I could hear all the phrases. But I wore them out just getting to know what all it does. And I don't have any more anywhere in town that I could buy that they're too small. The correct size is the LR92s or 920s. And I think a 921 would work. So the LR920 is the correct size, I believe. I've got those ordered and I'll know for sure when they come in. But mail ordering batteries takes forever. And I've never actually done it. So I guess I don't know how long it takes. But let's see what juice it's got left. It says, I am Bruticus, and a lot of other things. But the fact that the batteries are drained from you saying the phrases a few times, that's a challenge. And these batteries are not cheap. I ordered 10 batteries. They're like $4, so it's not bad. But it's going to take a week or two to come in. And I wasn't going to wait any longer. Next thing I want to talk about is, okay, I've heard the phrase tabtastic. So a lot of people talk about all the tabs for the Constructor, Toy World Constructor, which is pretty much the same company as this. And this thing has a lot of tabs. Now the reason is to keep it in place and solid, but the tabs fall out when manipulated. So these tabs here fall out, this here falls out, this falls off when manipulated. So it's not as perfect as I'd like it. And I heard all these, everybody talking about how solid this is, because they're used to dealing with the other ones. But I kind of think the Unique Toys one, Ragnarok, Ross, or whatever, I don't have that one, so I can't speak to it, but I hear that one's a little bit more solid. But, you know, I want the size. I'm a bit of a size junkie here. Also, I don't like the kibble that's on these. And what they've done with Superion is they let you clean them up. So there's a lot of kibble on these arms that you just don't see on a Superion arm. I really think that this arm, the Superion arm, the wings would have been kibble, and they allow you to remove them. And there's no reason you couldn't be allowed to remove some of the kibble on here. And I think that is a design choice they specifically went after, and in some cases, like this piece falling off on Superion, and I'm going to get into that when I do my Superion review. But this is a problem, in my opinion. Over here on these pieces, they kind of get in the way. Parts and pieces get in the way over here of articulation and make it a little bit harder, and they move around, and it's just a bit of a challenge. And the ability to get rid of that on the next version, i.e. Superion, I am very happy with. So next I want to talk about Swindle. And by the way, I actually love this thing. Right now I'm pointing negatives because I just noticed them, and I think everyone should know this stuff. If you're going to buy a $500 toy, you need to know the negatives. But this Swindle is constantly like falling apart, but he hasn't fallen off yet. A lot of people talk about how Swindle falls off, and the thing about Swindle is that, well, first of all, I would have liked the option to have him go either way, because I kind of wanted him the other way, because I think this is cleaner, but whatever. But the thing about Swindle is he doesn't have the same where he connects. nothing really bolts in on the side to hold that connection. As over here, they bolt in and hold the connection. But I really do like how they do the feet. The feet are nice. You got all that ankle rocker. Hard to see. But they get, the extreme poses you saw in the beginning. That's how we got to those extreme poses. And then let's look at how we clean up Zeta's leg. Nice and clean. Okay, let's get a good back shot. Now the thing about this guy, he's cleaner than him because this guy is still 5 transformers just stuck together. This guy is a torso that connects them all together. And with that, they're going to continue that with Superion, and then hopefully when they do, I would like to see them to do Computron, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But all that aside, what they've done different on the legs too is that the connector ports are different. And so how I couldn't connect Superion and like Zone and Scramble Citium into there. It's a different type of connection. I don't know how it's going to go together. I would like to know. It would be interesting. But anyway, that's not how it's going to go together. And the nice clean back looks really good. And I don't really think that one's that bad considering how it's put together. So next I want to talk about price versus value. And, for a $500 Transformer, I know we were paying $600 in the past. Some people paid $500 for this guy. I'm going to say I think he's worth every bit of $500 if you can get the right batteries in his head. The articulation is decent. It's good. You can get some great poses out of it. He's not as stable as everybody says. He is a pretty good bot, and I'm very pleased with him. And I'm definitely happy to upgrade my my Jin Bao KO oversized version for an official Zeta, and I'm pretty happy with this guy. And I would definitely recommend him if you don't have one. The cheapest I see him is like on eBay with the Bobo whatever 712, and there's some copies of him, so don't get from a copy of him. But anyway, this my chug scale is limited, so I don't really have the Starscream, but this is what Starscream would look like from the thing from that episode. But anyway, Tidarium Hanger out.